I have been warning about this since COVID. If the government can just circumvent rights because of an emergency, what's to stop the government from declaring an emergency to circumvent rights? That's exactly what New Mexico Governor Michelle Grisham just did. On Friday, she issued a decree from her ivory tower. Due to gun violence, she is declaring a public health state of emergency, which in part bans the lawful carry of firearms interstate for 30 days. So if you're a law-abiding gun owner with a permit to carry, your rights just been stripped unilaterally for 30 days. This is to be enforced by a prison sentence potentially and up to a $5,000 fine. Pound sand, lady. Absolutely not. In what world does she think she has the authority to do this? We literally just had a Supreme Court hand down a ruling in Bruin that says the right to carry a gun outside the home is in fact included under the Second Amendment. I should also note that she gets to maintain her armed security detail, but you and I can't do it, not in New Mexico. It's unbelievable. This unbelievably self-righteous governor at a press conference also appeared so constitutionally illiterate. She actually stated that she thinks she can override the Constitution and the Supreme Court.
Yeah. But your point is valid.
You took an oath to the Constitution. Isn't it unconstitutional to say you cannot exercise your carrying license?
With one exception, and that is if there's an emergency, and I've declared an emergency for a temporary amount of time, I can invoke additional powers. No constitutional right, in my view, including my oath, is intended to be absolute.
Where does it say that in the Constitution? I think she's confusing like martial law or something. Seriously, look, even David Hogg, of all people, the anti-gun mouthpiece for the left, he realized this, tweeting, quote, "I support gun safety, but there is no such thing as a state public health emergency exception to the United States Constitution." You know what? Congratulations, David Hogg. Welcome aboard. And you know who else realized this? The majority of residents and other government officials in that state. On Saturday, Bernalillo County District Attorney Sam Bregman, after sitting right next to the governor, made it very clear that he will not be enforcing Grisham's ban on concealed carry. He said, quote, "As an officer of the court, I cannot and will not enforce something that is clearly unconstitutional." Yes, thank you, sir. You know what this is about, though? This is about attempting to cover for her party's very bad legislation. This was in 2021 from a local Albuquerque paper. Albuquerque is in the midst of the worst crime wave we have seen, and New Mexico is ranked the most dangerous state to live in for 2021. The unfortunate thing about this is that the crime wave has been enabled by both legislative actions as well as inaction. For years, Republicans in the House and Senate have offered legislation to protect law-abiding citizens. New Mexico Democrats have killed every proposal and have instead pushed through legislation that excuses criminals, end quote. These academic ideologues have been so emboldened by COVID, they think they can do whatever they want. Think about it. If I told you 5 years ago that the government was going to shut down your business, make you cover your face, maybe mandate you inject yourself with something you might not want or need, you would have laughed me out of the room. But they did it anyway. And what's worse is most people just went along with it. Fortunately, people in New Mexico over the weekend were not having it. Hundreds were seen open carrying in defiance of this new order. Cops didn't do anything about it. They just sat there and watched. The Constitution was literally put in place, so this can't happen. This is also why when you are sworn into office, you swear to support and defend the Constitution.
I, Michelle Lujan Grisham,
I, Michelle Lujan Grisham,
do solemnly swear
to
support the Constitution of the United States
support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and the laws of the state of New Mexico.
Wow, that was in 2019 when she was sworn in. Look, she's going to lose this case, but she doesn't care. And at what cost to we the people? These elected officials just do whatever they want, and there's no consequences ever. I mean, can one of these sheriffs walk in and arrest her? I'd love to see it. They say, "Oh, Carl, you can't do that. There's a really? There's a process?" That process, her oath, says she can't do it, but yet here she is. Is that some level of treason? Two state reps, Stephanie Lord and John Block, are pursuing an impeachment, and they should. Additionally, the National Association for Gun Rights and one of its members who lives in Albuquerque filed a lawsuit asking the court to block the implementation of this. I mean, it's a crazy, ridiculous carry ban. They filed, quote, "The carry prohibition infringes the rights of the people, including plaintiffs, to keep and bear arms as protected by the Second Amendment. There are significant penalties for violations of the law," end quote. Happen to agree. These people think they can get away with whatever they want. And if you're not a gun owner or don't live in New Mexico, don't think this doesn't apply to you. Here's why it does. All of our rights are equal. This was recently noted by Justice Thomas. If they can, just by willy-nilly decree, eliminate your right to carry, what's to stop them from denying another right? What if one day some governor, president, or even Congress says, you know what, people have too many guns and we need to go into every house and inspect those guns. Fourth Amendment be damned. Do not doubt that this case would be used as precedent for something like this. And don't think for just a second they don't want to do this. Or how about, you know what, our office as congressman or governor or whatever have gotten too many threats and complaints recently. We're declaring an emergency, and we're going to suspend your right to speak ill of any elected member of anything. What if they say anything like that? I don't think it's too far-fetched to think that anymore. What if they said, you know what, democracy is under such a threat that we're just going to suspend any further elections? You think I'm crazy? Go back 5 years. Ask yourself the same question about everything that happened during COVID.